Hello, welcome back to my channel. It is Amanda. How are you today? Yeah, I know it's June. I am freezing. It is, well, I'm filming this a few days early, but it is real cold here. And it's tomorrow that it doesn't matter because this is going up days after the fact. Just know, at the end of May in Michigan, the high on a Friday was 49 degrees. Anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the palettes that I'm going to be using in June. In May, I did palettes that I'm kind of considering decluttering, but I want to use them a few more times to get the gist of it. I'm using my hands a lot lately. I don't know what's happening, but... And I did that. So I had 5 LA Girl palettes, 3 Juvia's Place palettes, the Milani Gilded Coast palette, and the Profusions Emeralds palette. So I'm actually going to be keeping everything except 3 palettes. I am going to be passing on the Milani Gilded Coast palette. This gilded formula, we know, it's just not, it's just lacking. The shadows kind of blend away. I love this color story, but at the same time, you kind of get the same look if you use any of these shades. You get there's a lot of similarity between those, and no, it's just not my favorite palette. I'm going to pass that one on to someone who, I don't know, wants to put it in. The other one that I'm passing on is from Juvia's Place, and this is the Saharan palette. Here's the thing about Juvia's Place. I think that their eyeshadows are amazing, but I just never use the palettes that I have. And I don't know why. I'm going to be passing on 2 of them actually. The Masquerade Mini palette and the Saharan palette. I didn't use this palette at all this month. And so I keep a list of palettes that I, so I can keep track of how many times I've used them, and oh, you haven't used that one yet, you need to use it. And every time I went to grab this palette to use, because I hadn't used it, I just thought, I don't even want to use it. And I don't know why, because it's not that the quality is bad. I love the colors. I think I just wasn't in the mood for maybe this much color this month or something. I don't know, but I didn't use it all month, and I really want to work on trying to not necessarily downsize, because I'm not trying to get to a certain number of palettes, but I want to use the palettes that I have. So we're going to pass that one on as well as the Saharan palette. I do think that this palette is very beautiful. My absolute favorite shade is this green shade, but I can find this in another palette, so it's not really necessary to keep the palette just for that one shade, especially because I didn't really use the other colors that much, because I love this one so much that I just kind of put that all over my lid and called it good. I'm going to keep the rest of them. The only one that I thought I might possibly pass on is this little LA Girl palette. And I still might at some point, but I just love this. I hate the name. It's called Foreplay. But I just love this. It's really nice. The LA Girl palettes are, I don't think they're underrated, I guess, because everyone I know who has them and uses them loves them. But I feel like it's a brand and a palette that's easily overlooked because, first of all, the palettes are larger. At least their 16 shade palettes, they're larger. I don't really like how large they are. They come with an enormous mirror if you need a mirror for your palette. It's an enormous mirror, and it's a nice mirror. No funhouse mirror here. I wore actually this palette when I went to get my hair cut. I was wearing actually this purple shade in my inner corner because I love like a weird color inner corner highlight versus a brightening one. And the girl who was cutting my hair, she goes, "Oh my gosh, your eyeshadow is so beautiful. What did you use?" And I said, "Thank you. I actually use an LA Girl palette." And she was like, "Wow, I've never used those." And this was at Ulta. She worked at Ulta and had never used, like, I just think it's a brand that gets easily overlooked, and they're so good. And I don't like the size of these palettes. I do wish they were a little smaller, but every time I go to declutter them and then I wear it, I think, no, I'm keeping you. You're so good. So I'm keeping all 4 of these LA Girl palettes. I'm sorry, all 5 of them, because this one is very nice as well. And then I'm also keeping the Profusion Emeralds palettes. Talk about an underrated palette. This palette is amazing. Yes, it's all greens. They have other color stories if you don't like greens, but oh my goodness. These shades are so pigmented. They blend like magic. They layer really well. They last on your eyes all day. This palette is amazing. And it's $5. I thought this was a $10 palette, and I was linking it for something. It's a $5 palette. It's not even good for $5. It's great for any price. Not any prices. And then the other one that I'm keeping is the Juvia's Place Nomad palette, because I have truly only used this. I think I used this one time last month. I think this is more of a fall color story. I'm not typically a seasonal makeup wearer, but you know, sometimes you don't feel like wearing certain colors in May. And for me, I didn't feel like wearing a lot of these in May. I definitely think that this would make some stunning fall makeup. And again, there's nothing, the Juvia's Place formula is very nice. I don't know why I'm not reaching for the other one. In June, I'm going to be using the palettes that are newest to my collection. So last month I don't know why I know this already. Just tired probably. So in May, palettes that I was trying to remove from my collection. And then in June, the newest palettes to my collection. And there are 11. I try not to make more than 10. But one of them is really small, so it doesn't count. The Milani Gilded Getaway palette. I know I just spoke about the gilded formula and how I don't love it, but I'm not sure. I don't even know if my April haul video went up yet. I purchased this in April, and I have used it once, and the time that I used it, it was a vast improvement over the previous gilded formulas that I had tried. So I want to continue using it. I mean, it's adorable, first of all, but you know, we're gonna use some of these greens, these reds up here, the golds. I definitely want to use this some more, and see if it passes the mustard, you know? Where did that saying originate? Like, how would passing mustard mean something that's good? The next palettes are the Makeup Revolution and Friends palettes. My hair is, I don't know what it's doing today, but this is what it looks like today, sorry. I've used, I think, this one. I'll be there, or we were on a break, yes. I've used this one once, and if you haven't seen the April haul video, I did speak about this being the 3rd collaboration between Makeup Revolution and Friends, and I hadn't purchased anything previously. But I do really love the Forever Flawless formula from Makeup Revolution. It is pretty much the only eyeshadow formula that I actually enjoy from Makeup Revolution, and I love Friends. That's one of my favorite TV shows. I have a secret closet. I didn't really look at these for it. So I have this one, the We Were on a Break palette, and then also the I'll Be There For You palette, which is the more neutral palette. Neutral for me. Maybe it's not neutral for you, that's fine. And I haven't used this one yet. Over me? When are you under me? So the next palette is the BH Cosmetics Trendy in Tokyo palette. I love this 16 pan formula from BH Cosmetics, and this was the last palette that I needed in the travel series. And I truly love all of those palettes so much that I wanted to complete the collection. I don't typically do that for makeup. I'm not like I have to complete the collection. I don't really do that for nail polish either. I mean, I also love the colors. So bright. I love it. We have several palettes from ColourPop. This is the little one, so, and I've already used this once or twice, but you know, there's only so much you can do with a 5-pan palette. But I do want to use this darker shade. It's called Hibernating. I do want to use that one a little bit, just, you know, play with it a little bit. So this is the ColourPop Bambi collection. This is the Thumper palette. There's something stuck to this. What is that? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then we have the Wine and Only palette and the Wild Child palette. I haven't used the Wild Child at all yet. I've used the Wine and Only about, I think, once. This just makes me want like a cupcake or something. It's like chocolate. It just looks like delicious chocolate. When I see this, I want like red velvet. I don't want wine. What does that say about me? And then the Limoncello palette, which I've used one time. I actually need to find, because I just saw someone in the ColourPop Fanatics Facebook group post a look using this palette, and it was so beautiful. And I want to recreate it. I need to go back and find that picture. It was really pretty. And then the It Was All a Dream palette, the Lizzie McGuire one. I haven't used this guy at all yet. It just looks really fun and definitely very summer. The last two palettes I'm going to be using are the Indie palettes. And this is the Odensai Alva palette. You'll actually probably see this. You probably haven't seen this yet. It's going to be my Indie haul from April. But I filmed it and then deleted the footage, so I've got to refilm it. But this is in my Odensai mystery box, spoiler alert, and I want to use this really pretty mauve. I feel like it matches my sweatshirt. And last but not least, the Club Nebula palette. I was able to purchase this when they restocked for the final time, and I'm so happy. I wasn't going to buy it, and then everyone said, no, you actually do need it. You actually do need it. It's just so pretty. Firefly looks amazing. So those are the palettes that I will be using in June. Do you have favorite looks with any of these palettes? Please tell me. I actually already have my palettes picked up for July as well. I was on it. I don't anticipate me decluttering any of these palettes at the end of the month. And that's okay. I wasn't planning to declutter every month, so last month I think I decluttered like 7 palettes. I feel good about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. I'll talk to you guys in my next video.